straight leg skips. Now we're getting a little bit more dynamic and adding some progression here. Good, staying bouncy, some reactive feedback like that as well. What's going on, everybody? It's Coach Ty here with Project Pure Athlete, and
holy crap,
it's been a while. Haven't been around for a minute, and especially in the reaction capacity. Dropped a handful of videos recently, and thank you to everybody who has checked those videos out. They are gems, and if you haven't watched the rest of our content here, I don't know what you're waiting for, but get after it. Today we're gonna be reacting to jump 5 inches higher in 10 minutes with this warm-up. This is a PJF performance vlog. This is from Paul Fabritz. Paul and I know each other. We have talked many times, and I thought this would be a really cool opportunity to do some kind of cross-examination of somebody else in the industry and one of the
top dogs
when it comes to how it's done in the jump training space. So let's get right into it. I want to find out what this magic warm-up is and how we're adding 5 inches. Super excited. Let's do it in 3, 2, 1.
Skadoosh.
First and foremost, epic training facility. This is Paul's house, and it is an absolute coach's dream. So much respect to you, man, for all the hard work and making this come to fruition. This is wonderful, and obviously like a dope edit as always.
Today I got 4 elite jumpers coming through the lab, and I'm going to put one of my warm-ups.
Get some of this.
Typically, this warm-up will help athletes instantly improve their vertical by 4 to 7 inches. Now,
4 to 7 inches.
It's going to improve your vertical.
There we go.
By inches. If you go from cold to warm, it's going to improve your vertical.
It's a good point. This is something that we do quite often, which is when we get athletes into a testing capacity. Number one, what I like to do is let the athletes actually warm themselves up the way they typically would in any other situation. Then we do a pre-test, and then we take them back through and add in some components that might be missing. But let's see what Paul does here.
But the more effective the warm-up, the more it actually increases your vertical. So I'm going to put it to the test. We'll get their pre-test numbers. I'm going to give you the entire warm-up, and then we'll take their post-test numbers. You're going to learn a lot, and we're also going to put this warm-up to the test and see how effective it really is. Let's get this work.
So we're going to get just a pre-test. Standing vert, we'll just go like 1 rep each.
Immediately going to get the
Immediately.
Was that Chris?
And then we'll do the dynamic warm-up, and then we'll retest.
Okay, so this is the one area I'm assuming these guys haven't warmed up yet. This is the one area that I would probably do a little bit different. That being said, everybody has their own methods, the way they approach things. Like I mentioned before, typically what I'll do is have the athletes warm themselves up the way they typically would, so I can get a snapshot into areas they might be missing. Whether that is kind of some CNS priming, whether that is a mobility piece to get the body moving efficiently, but looks like he's having them jump right into a test right out of the gate.
Do a regular vert, boom, land it. I'm gonna give you your score, and then next guy.
Who do we have here? I saw Chris, I saw Oliver.
Who's up first?
Oh, what's up, Court? And my man, there we go. Be rough.
34.1.
Oh, using the jump mat, okay. Chris, 32. That's scary, first of all. 39-inch vert out the hop without a warm-up. First of all, that's an elite standing vertical. I mean, all of these are elite jumpers. Everybody you'll see likely produces their force a different way from a mechanical perspective and obviously from a neuromuscular perspective, but real cool. 39. What's the warm-up here? Get them into some hip bridges.
First one will go down on our back. It's just going to be a hip bridge.
There we go.
Get up, just squeeze your glutes a little bit, and then you want to breathe in through the nose and then out through the mouth. When you breathe out, try to get all that air out. You should actually feel your core squeezing a little bit to help you breathe all that air out.
There we go.
I
I like the time under tension here from a warm-up perspective. Obviously helping to saturate the tissues, the tendons, and if any of these guys deal with any type of tendinopathy, this would be a really good way to desensitize some of those areas and provide a really good healthy blood flow. I like the breathing cues as well.
Okay, now I see the difference. You let your glutes do the work.
Your core, man.
You breathe in through the
I
nose,
hear
think
you.
about 360
PPA
expansion.
certified jump coach,
Stomach
Court.
rise, your chest rise, and your ribs expand. Don't just
Good, I
breathe
like
into your
that cue as
chest.
well.
360.
Teaching how to breathe through, I like that 360 breathing. I like that cue is how to kind of inflate the entire abdomen, you know, elevate the depress the diaphragm, elevate through other areas of that kind of midsection and create pressure, understanding how to create intra-abdominal pressure as well as exhaling completely.
And one more breath.
Then obviously we're just getting lots of
Now
oxygen
it's
in the
all
body.
pelvic control. So same position. You're gonna raise one, drop it, raise one,
Good.
and drop it. But feel those hip bones. They should not be shifting like this. So when I come back here, I should not be shifting down. So these pelvic bones never move. So you're gonna feel the same thing. You're gonna feel all glute.
Get some single leg
Little bit
stimulus
hamstring, no low
and some
back.
rotational stimulus as well. I'm gonna be drinking a little bit of pre-workout as well.
You can even just feel those pelvic bones right there.
Oh, okay, now I feel it. So
Yep.
you don't want your hips to tilt.
You don't want them to tilt. Yep.
Good focus, Chris.
10 more seconds.
You don't feel it like kids will see this people. Oh, this is breathe. Yeah, huh? Don't be fooled just because we talk to it.
There we go.
And relax. So come over to the box here.
Yeah, please.
So you're gonna stretch quad, hip flexor. Just come here. So step one, just get up nice and tall. You might already feel in that hip flexor. If you can, get your butt all the way back.
All right, I'm gonna pause for a quick sec. So typically, again, like everybody differs in the way they approach things, right? So for us, we structure our warm-ups on kind of a three-prong approach. We're looking to hit kind of blood flow first, then movement specific, a little bit more like what they're doing now, and then like an activation, which, you know, they've gotten a little bit of activation, glutes, things like that. And the activation can also be on a more kind of specific end of the spectrum as well, getting them a little bit quicker, responsive, and even jump specific things as they lead back into more jump testing. But we're starting here with a little bit of kind of general prep work for the tissues. This is the couch stretch.
To the heel. So I'm all the way back here. Now I really feel in that quad. Get up tall, and then same thing, positional breathing. So it's in through the nose, out through the mouth. Get all that air out. So you go on that side. Yep.
Coalition of the track. So quad, yeah.
And then I love the cueing of the breathing through stretching. Like it's insanely important to understand that the body will do a lot to kind of reject certain ranges of motion, depending on your kind of mobility, flexibility, abilities at that time. And that breathing really just helps the brain kind of speak to the tissues and let everything know, let the body know that everything's fine, and allows the body to stretch more efficiently. So I love the fact that he's placing so much emphasis on the breathing.
Now on the exhale, squeeze that glute. So if your left leg is down,
Change
it's gonna
pelvic
be
angle.
inhale, and then when you exhale, squeeze the left glute.
Pulls it posteriorly,
Every exhale, squeeze the glute.
and it'll intensify that
Pull
stretch.
you more into that hip extension and stretch quads and hip flexors.
There we go.
We'll go down, hands back, and then it's just windshield wipers. Touch both knees to the ground. Touch both knees to the ground. 90 degrees, 90 degrees. Same thing on this side. 90 degrees, 90 degrees.
Good.
So what I feel is mine.
Good little bit of hip movement, internal, external. Yep, gets in a little bit into the lateral line as well, up through the lower abdomen, QLs.
Frankenstein's. So it's just boom, kick across. Take it to the yellow cones.
Yeah, we call these straight leg walks. It's good, right? Again, we're kind of progressing. We did some hip ranges of motion. Now we're taking the hips through a little bit of flexion extension.
So it's boom.
Straight leg skips. Now we're getting a little bit more dynamic and adding some progression here.
A little bit, but keep it pretty straight.
Good, staying bouncy, some reactive feedback like that as well. Good. Looks like my man Guy is a track skipper.
Anybody who does track can skip.
A, B, and C.
Yeah.
Yep.
A skip, B skip. I mean, A skip, B skip, A more.
So front line stretch, back line stretch. So all it is we come here. So look, my left leg is back. I'm here, and then I bring my left leg
Leg forward.
and I'm here.
Like a tripod.
So first
Good.
just start it slow.
Kickstand dead. open up that
You wanna look up to
abdomen.
the
Very
side. You wanna
nice.
stretch all the way through the front chain of the body.
Good.
Yep.
Walking with you or no?
No, stationary.
It's important to note as well, like, you know, these guys are, like, the athletes that are there are phenomenal athletes. These guys are world-class jumpers, and, you know, their protocols that they do on their own will vary in, greatly kind of across that spectrum. So some of these guys may do some of this stuff already. Some of them may do none of it. Some of them may do not much at all in terms of kind of training on the side. Some people, again, just might hoop, might jump a lot, and kind of have some natural genetic factors at play that are aiding them, and really just built differently, you know, from that natural perspective that allows them to do a lot more than, you know, the average person. So it'll be funny to see how they respond to implementing things that they may not do already.
Yep. Look to the sky, come to the ground. Look to the sky, come to the ground. You should be Gumby, you should be smooth. So we're here.
I do like that everything here is very dynamic, and we're continuing to move the entire time. Yep, we're speeding up the movement. I love it.
Swinging your way through it. There you go.
So it says fascial or fascial line elasticity is referring to the fascial system, which is really kind of this this netting per se around the muscles from top to bottom. And fascia is very interconnected with itself, meaning that all of the musculature essentially is connected by that fascial system. And if there's an issue in one part of that system, then it kind of can transmit to other areas of the body. So opening up and making sure that we're working through dynamic, big ranges, global ranges of motion is going to ensure that that kind of fascial system is responsive and also very healthy. I always say, like, picture it like, remember in grade school you had the in the gym storage, you had the balls that were in the net, right? You go in and get the basketballs, they were in that net, or in the cage. They were in a net in our gym storage. The net around the ball, it's like the fascial system around the muscles.
Yep. Go under, over, lateral.
Carioca step.
Get it over that imaginary fence so we're low.
This is nice, especially for like hip movement as well. And then adductors across the body.
Lateral lunge. 1, 2. Land with my toes pointed straight forward. And then I'm lateral lunge here. Lateral lunge.
Like, these guys are going to jump higher for sure, because they, first of all, did no warm-up, and now they've done a warm-up. But this warm-up is effective, very effective. I love the dynamic elements of it. And there's always an element of kind of elasticity built in, that rhythm is built in, so they're developing that nice neuromuscular feel.
Next one, rotational. Same thing.
See their heart rate's elevating a bit.
Effortless, low.
Not over exaggerated. Just
Yep.
Rotation hops. So we do a variation of this called corkscrews, where it's a little bit more aggressive through the rotation, which I personally like, but I like the responsiveness to these rotational hops. Boom, 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 boom. I like it.
Association. Boom, boom, boom. Oh yeah. Open up those hips.
Typically we'll crank up the intensity a little bit, and it'll be a little bit less side-to-side movement and a little bit more pivot kind of along that lumbosacral region, that lower back. Guy's bouncy. He's like, just open me up.
High, the other foot is just low. Low skip, high skip. Pop off. Low. Pop off.
Doom, 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 doom. Like it. Dun, 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 dun.
A little bit on the high foot. Put some force.
Yeah, we call these tall skips. Use a lot of these variations in our warm-ups as well.
Pick it up,
A little bit of med ball toss.
drop fast.
Good. Get that stretch shortening.
Step back.
I like it.
And you just got 2 regular jumps. Land it. Same thing. 2. And then we're going to come around for 2 seconds.
A little bit of potentiation
Boom. Yes, sir.
with the heavier med ball. And then they go into 2 offloaded jumps. 1, 2. A little bit of resistance, some contractile history. Step back. Boom, boom. Love it.
Twist. Get above the trees.
Oh, got me on that one. I ain't gonna lie.
One more round. So you're in. You're in.
Wow, he is elastic.
Oh, Twist is too springy.
Different.
You can't help it. You got a
He's
minute
different.
off, shake it out, and we're in.
Very bouncy.
Going crazy. You know how I'm thinking.
Ooh.
Good work.
Dunkers and backflips. That's something that I never did, was backflips. I could do a backflip, but they scared the shit out of me.
Working with the best. In order to be the best, you gotta work with the best.
Here we go,
And
Chris.
you gotta beat the best.
Facts. Big facts. Come on, Brandon. Definitely higher.
God.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
37. He's going to go 41 and a half.
40.6.
That's only because I linked over. I'm gonna throw an ad in there.
I would have personally, like with someone like with Guy, and Paul likely knows this as well, but we have a mix of neurological types. Guy would have benefited from even throwing in some like accels and getting him sprinting a little bit, some real quick. He's super elastic. And with guys like that, you got to charge that nervous system up and really build in that high level reactive capacity.
I lean forward. If I ain't lean forward, 42. Look.
Chris. Lots of hip flexion, 39.2. There we go. That's a big jump up for Chris.
I'm gonna stop.
Chris is aging up a little bit too, so a good warm up for Chris will help. That's right, Chris. I called you out, getting older.
We gained an average of about 5 inches. That is a big transformation. Now again, any warm-up is going to make you improve. Even a bad warm-up, you're going to gain a couple inches. But for me, it's good to test out different warm-ups and see which ones are the most effective. And an average of 5 inches and a max of 7 inches gained is a big difference maker. So guys, if you're getting ready for a game or for a workout or for a dunk session, you can see what a difference it is going from no warm-up to an effective warm-up.
Facts. All right. Thanks, Paul. There we go. Make sure that you go over, if you don't already, link in the description below to Paul's channel. He has phenomenal content. He's got an epic setup at his house. I just watched his home gym tour, which is a phenomenal video as well. Go give him a check, give him a like, subscribe, let him know that you're over there from PPA. But to summarize, for me, listen, the warm-up is great. There's elements in there that we use ourselves and we definitely stand by, and I can see that before and after. Absolutely. You can't, it's harder to falsify the jump mat. You can falsify the jump mat, but those guys were jumping higher. What I would love to see is these guys warmed up on their own and then taken through kind of the PJF method of warming up to see what the difference is there. The likelihood is it wouldn't be like the average of 5 inches, which I'm sure Paul knows as well. But it'd be fun to see what it is that is actually causing those changes in warm-up. Typically when we do our warm-ups, it's somewhere between like 1 and 2, sometimes 3 inches of difference when we have them warm themselves up and then I warm them up with some of our protocol. So I imagine that Paul would be able to do right at the same as well, because he's a phenomenal coach, phenomenal trainer. So regardless, great content, and let me know in the comments below what elements from your warm-up that you like. What was missing from this warm-up that you think belonged in there, or what in this warm-up is in there that you never thought to do in your warm-up? I'm curious to know and hear from you. Appreciate y'all. Make sure you make sure you subscribe, do that, like, and don't forget to leave a comment below. Super helpful. We'll be back very shortly with another reaction. This is Coach Tyler Ray from Project Pure Athlete, and we'll see you soon. Ready? I'm gonna hit you with that COVID high five. Don't you go anywhere. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and yeah!